It's Week 17 of the National Football League, and we're watching the Snowhawks, superstar running back. Your standard at running back this season, pacing the league in rushing. It's the Snowhawks and the Shamrocks. And
we are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Just about time to rock as Toe gets ready to meet leather. And off we go from the Emerald Isle. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And leading them out, their signal caller, now in his fourth season in the NFL.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Operating from the gun, Horton. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 16 yards, a first down. Here's Walton. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. They go back to Walton. And again, they stop him behind the line. That is read well for a second straight play defensively. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15. Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And they'll send out their punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at about the 28. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. At a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 10 carries, 64 yards, and a touchdown.
One thing I do know, teams in the NFL don't treat this like a pitcher throwing the no-hitter. It's been mentioned all week long about going out and getting him the rushing title. He'll see the ball, and he'll see it often.
Now Smith. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Becker. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 34.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. To throw is Smith. He finds his man, complete. It's Potter. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Smith now to throw. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing again is Smith. Throw left side complete. That's Potter. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. And now for him on the season, that is his 80th catch, and the result is a 1st down. Now a handoff up the middle. Holiday. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Holiday. A great move, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Throwing is Smith. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. They need about the length of the football here on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Snowhawks will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And able to get this out to the 25. The Shamrocks offense led by their running back headed out for the 2nd possession. And he's been one of the most consistent pieces of their offense all year long, no doubt. Shouldn't be much of a surprise then to see him among the league leaders in rushing here late in the season. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Looking to throw. Horton. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
They bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken right around the 44. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their 2nd drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up the score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. Holiday. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. No sense taking a chance on 3rd down and forcing one into traffic. So I like the wise play he made there. Get it to the sideline out of bounds where no one's going to have a chance at it.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And they will be in the playoffs as champs of the AFC East. But as it stands right now, Charles, they still would have to host a game on Wild Card Weekend because they're still looking up at that #1 seed.
And that's when you tell your team, remember, guys, at the beginning of the season, what was our deal? Let's win our division and get to the playoffs. That was job one. Let's not get greedy about the whole thing because whether or not they end up with a first-round bye or not, you and I both know this team's going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Here's 2nd and 8. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be just shy of the 20 at the 19 as he goes out of bounds. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Willis. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a carry for Walton, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Dublin with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. This a 2nd and 8 as they've got it as we resume action. Now Walton. And he'll be stopped at about the 38 after a pickup of 4. Now during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him. And we'll step aside for a moment. In motion goes the tight end. From the gun on 3rd down. Horton. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Snowhawks offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And you can see he's closing in on a rushing title, the league leader coming into the penultimate week of the season. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. So from the 26-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. He finds his man. Complete. It's Becker. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Now it's Smith. In trouble, and he's taken down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So they bring out their punter, standing just outside his own goal line. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. Dublin's offense now set to take over. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
That's good for 28 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Fox. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Off play action. Horton. Can't get away, and he's taken down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
And on now is the punter, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it.
Out comes Anchorage to take over offensively. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
First target, first catch, and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Up the middle they go. Holiday.
And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
Smith. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Becker. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now Smith. That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Oh, nice job there putting the ball right in the doorstep of the goal line. Couldn't quite get in to pay dirt, but he got awfully close. Let's see if they can cash it in over the next couple of plays.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Back to throw, Smith. Touchdown! A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Snowhawks have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, down in this part of the field, CD, they'd love to get him the football, and right there, a little pitch and catch for the score.
Yeah, and he's such a weapon when it's that close to the end zone, and they love being able to rely on him to make those kind of catches. Talk about trust, talk about confidence, and he produces.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Dublin's offense now set to take over.
And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up.
Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And the defense coming through on third down. A loss of 7 to bring up fourth. So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. He finds his man complete. That's Potter. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And now whistles here and a flag down. Looked like someone got going a little early.
Ball start. Offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Play action. It's Smith. He finds his man complete. It's Becker.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Here comes third and about a foot.
Smith.
He's got his target. That's complete.
They'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense.
I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you
Automatic
argue your
first
case
down.
with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Here's Smith. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. A very costly sack there on 3rd and goal. Pushes him back big time. And now you figure the field goal team coming on 4th.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Off of play action. Here's Smith. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Here's Smith. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Now on fourth down, out comes the field goal unit here. From the left hash, this from 46. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will extend their lead even further. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And a good return, but he pays the price at the end of it as he's picked up and thrown down. Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. And Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here. But with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he comes back with one complete. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll look to throw now on first down. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Smith.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. A shotgun snap for Smith. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. More from you and Charles in a bit. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here in the late window.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. A very one-sided first half, 17-0 our score as we get going in quarter number 3. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. He had the touchdown pass earlier, adding to his impressive season total as you take a look at the NFL leaders in touchdown passes at this point in the season. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it. But I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities. And I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
He finds his man complete. That's Becker. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. From the gun, here's Smith. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Becker. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5. And that'll bring up 4th down. And they'll send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now here's a quick throw to start the drive complete. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Looking to throw. Horton.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
And he is caught.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That'll go as a 16-yard gain as they pick up the first.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early.
Defense.
So a PI call going to cost him there defensively. What did you see?
Well, I think it's the right call, partner, because sometimes we'll see officials kind of let them play. But by the letter of the law, that's definitely a penalty.
Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 33-yard line.
They'll run with Walton. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. Horton.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3.
So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the third quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long.
Here's Smith throwing to start the drive. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Smith. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. In motion comes the tight end left. Now Smith. Throwing middle, and it's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 42 now, here's 2nd and 2.
Now a handoff up the middle. Holiday. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. To throw is Smith. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. On 1st down, Holiday. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Now 2nd and 3.
Smith now to throw.
And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Operating from the gun, Smith. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1. They'll try and run for it. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And as a result, possession switches hands. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
In motion, the tight end. Throwing to start the drive. Horton. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. That one unable to develop. Never got going. A loss of a couple. And it's 2nd down. Looking to throw. Horton got his man complete over the middle. That's Willis.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Able to find Willis. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
Taken from just outside the 30. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And out will come the offense as they take over.
So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
Throwing is Smith. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Welcome back now to the Emerald Isle as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game. It has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. The offense on 3rd down, they've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, he'll drop to throw.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense, because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Dublin's offense now set to take over. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's second down and 2.
Back to throw.
Horton, a quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters, and this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th, but a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
Now it's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw again. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
They'll look to throw again.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That one goes for 8 yards. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run on first down. It's Fox. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up.
But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Here's 2nd and 4 from the 24.
Looking to throw.
Horton. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
From the gun on 3rd down.
Horton. Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10.
And now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. Well, always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Shamrocks are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. So that drive spans 13 plays. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here.
And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Snowhawks offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively. And this one is incomplete.
Went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now it's Smith. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Following the play now, they're going to stop the clock here as a man is shaken up. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
Now Smith. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the fourth.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. The interception was a great starting point, but now they need points pretty quickly, down 2 scores.
Throwing to start the drive. Horton toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
15 yards on the play, first down.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Escapes the sack. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be second and goal coming up.
Brings up second and goal.
And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line.
Holding offense.
A crucial penalty there as the hold backs him up for another second and goal. They run again with Walton. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
Third and goal. And keep in mind, very possibly 4-down territory.
Back to throw.
Horton.
And it's caught. Touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Shamrocks have made it a 1-score game again here in the fourth.
Oh, such great concentration there, going right up against the side of the end zone, but able to get the feet in bounds.
There are so many things that go into that catch, and you just mentioned the concentration, being able to catch the football, get your feet down in bounds, hang.
And now remember, all touchdowns are reviewed, and in a tight game
Previous
like
play
this,
is under review.
they're going to take a good long look at it. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right.
Extra point splits the uprights. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out comes Anchorage to take over offensively.
I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 2.
They'll run straight ahead with Ware.
And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. They'll try and run with Ware. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They run again with Ware. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here. 2nd and 11. From the gun, they run with Ware. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. On 3rd down, this is Ware. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down.
Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they take a knee. On the handoff, it's Ware. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
Now Smith.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Brandon, that touchdown certainly looks like the clincher to me.
Probably a little too much to overcome, don't you think?
I would agree. I say at this stage of the game, that touchdown should seal the fate.
A try here for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Throwing to start the drive.
Horton.
He's going to have the hook up to Ross.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Here's 1st down.
And he fends him off. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Under pressure, and down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
So it's our visitors that come away with a victory here, and it was thanks in part to their man under center, their veteran quarterback.
Yeah, I thought this defense just didn't have an answer for him all game long. They tried to change things up, but he was always one step ahead. And he finished with over 300 yards passing and 2 touchdown passes as well.
So for Anchorage, they continue to show they're playoff ready as they move to 13-3 with 1 game remaining.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say cheers, everyone, from Dublin.